Triassic timeline. The earliest period of the Mesozoic era in geologic time was the Triassic Period. It began roughly around 252 million years ago, towards the end of the Permian period, and lasted until 201 million years ago, when the Jurassic period took over. The Triassic period represented the start of dramatic changes in the Mesozoic era. This was particularly seen in the evolution of life, the distribution of continents, and the different biomes of living creatures. Almost all of the world's major landmasses were gathered into the supercontinent of Pangaea at the start of the Triassic. The Earth's crust was largely inactive, and terrestrial temperatures were mostly dry and warm, though seasonal monsoons occurred across wide areas. However, at the end of the Triassic, plate tectonic activity increased, and continental rifts began to happen. Shallow oceans, which had shrunk in extent at the end of the Permian era, became more extensive along the continent's boundaries. When sea levels rose, the waters of continental shelves were colonized for the first time by enormous marine reptiles as well as reef-building corals of modern appearance. Beginning of the Triassic Era and the emergence of dinosaurs. Following the largest mass extinction in the history of our planet, the Triassic Period began. At the end of the Permian era, roughly around 70% of the terrestrial vertebrate species, and around 85 to 95% of marine invertebrate species had perished. The proportional importance of terrestrial animals increased during the Triassic period. The first dinosaurs appeared, indicating the great radiation that would characterize this group during the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods. Reptiles increased in number and diversity, and the first dinosaurs appeared, which would characterize this group during the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods. Finally, at the end of the Triassic, the first mammals appeared, fur-bearing, tiny, shrew-like creatures descendants of reptiles. Supercontinent Pangaea and superocean Panthalassa. At the start of the Triassic period, the world's current continents were gathered together into Pangaea, a gigantic sea-shaped supercontinent. Pangaea spanned from 85 degrees north to 90 degrees south in a narrow strip of roughly 60 degrees longitude, covering about a fourth of the Earth's surface. It was made up of a group of northern continents known as Laurasia and a group of continents in the southern part known as Gondwana. The gigantic world ocean Panthalassa spanned from pole to pole, covering the rest of our world, and it was nearly twice the breadth of the current-day Pacific Ocean. Seamounts, islands and volcanic archipelagos were scattered across the landmass of Panthalassa within 30 degrees of the Triassic Era equator. The Triassic climate. Climatic conditions throughout the Triassic appear to have been substantially more uniform than they are today. There was no polar ice. Temperature differences between the poles and the equator would have been less dramatic than they are now, resulting in less ecological habitat diversity. The development of the supercontinent Pangaea resulted in widespread aridity across most terrestrial areas. Life in the Triassic period. Earth's third and biggest mass extinction catastrophe, which occurred just before the Triassic, marked the transition between the Mesozoic and Paleozoic eras. Early Triassic biomes suffered as a result, while diversity and abundance gradually increased during the late and middle Triassic periods. Many Triassic life forms in the early parts have a Paleozoic appearance, whereas middle and late Triassic life forms have a definite Mesozoic appearance and are clearly forerunners of the creatures to come. Throughout the Triassic, new land animals appeared. Both the earliest dinosaurs and the first genuine mammals arrived by the end of the Triassic Era. Extinction events. Mass extinctions of large scale have occurred on a regular basis throughout the history of life. Even the geologic eras were founded on this basis. The last of the 5 main mass extinction events, which occurred towards the end of the Cretaceous era and killed the dinosaurs, is the most well known. The biggest of all extinction events occurred towards the end of the Paleozoic era, between the Permian and Triassic periods, and it was this third mass extinction that had the most impact on life during the Triassic. In short, we still have a lot of information to learn. Do not forget to like, comment, and share the video. Subscribe to our channel to view more such content.